Moving on, up next, we have another extremely informative keynote presentation by Mr. Regis Louis, Vice President Cloud Strategy EMEA at Oracle. The keynote title of Regis is Expanding the Possibilities of Hybrid Cloud. A brief intro of Regis. After working 20 years in the Oracle product development organization, Regis is now responsible for driving strategy awareness and adoption of Oracle Cloud Platform, also known as OCI, with the largest enterprises in the region. Regis organization serves as an OCI Center of Excellence, spokesperson and conduit to Oracle engineering for the regional ecosystem with a responsibility spanning multiple products and solution areas covered by the Oracle OCI portfolio, including core infrastructure, cloud native application development, data management, integration, security, analytics, and many other related emerging cloud technologies. Welcome, Regis, and the stage is all yours for the next 15 minutes.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm delighted to be here with you today, albeit virtually. Now, it is likely that you have all already started your journey towards cloud adoption. It is likely that you are all started to select multiple cloud providers, so selecting the right cloud provider for the right workload. It is likely that you have also started looking at cloud as a hybrid cloud adoption, keeping some assets on premise, keeping some assets in the cloud, and having a seamless interaction between the two. And this multi-cloud approach, this hybrid approach, this has been key to the strategy that we have used to design the Oracle Cloud. Now, if you look at the Oracle Cloud, we've started 6 years ago with OCI, and since then we had a very rapid expansion around the world to bring the cloud as close as possible to our customers so that you can use the public cloud as an extension to your existing data center. So we have now 30 regions live around the world. We have 8 more coming in the next few months and continuing this very, very rapid expansion. Now, it's not just rapid expansion, it's also a very rapid expansion in terms of capabilities. We have done like continuous investments, continuous innovations in the last few years to bring capabilities in Oracle Cloud all across the stack, whether this is at the infrastructure level, compute network storage, at the services for building new applications, modern cloud native applications, the whole data management, the whole data and artificial intelligence and machine learning, analytics. So all across the board, we have really done many, many investments and innovations. And as a matter of fact, there is a blog called Cloud Wars. I don't know if you are aware of this blog, but they compare many of the hyperscalers offering. They've just published last month the result of the Gartner scorecard, which compares the hyperscalers one with another. And in this scorecards from Gartner, it shows that Oracle in the last 2 years had the fastest growing number of capabilities across all the hyperscalers and is now surpassing some other cloud vendors, such as Google, for instance. So very, very rapid expansion in terms of geography and in terms of capabilities. Now, as you are selecting the right cloud for the right workload, it's interesting to look at what are the differentiation versus the different cloud vendors. And all these innovations that I'm talking about have really allowed the Oracle Cloud to bring in some key innovations and key differentiation. One that I would start with is the price performance advantage. With the architecture that we've put in place with the Oracle Cloud, we're able to provide the highest level of performance in the market with the most predictable and lowest price to really bring the best price performance ratio for deploying your critical applications. But as you are deploying your enterprise applications to the cloud, we've also introduced unique enterprise service level agreements, where by contract, we guarantee availability, but also manageability and performance of your applications, which is unique in the marketplace. It's also end-to-end security. We've designed the Oracle Cloud all around security, where security is always on, where or security is fully automated and comes at no cost. It's not an option. So fully secured environment. Another differentiation is the completeness of the portfolio. We're probably the only vendor having the full infrastructure, full platform as a service, as well as full SaaS, software as a service portfolio in one platform. And Oracle being Oracle, obviously OCI is the best platform for deploying Oracle technology, Oracle database, middleware, but also Oracle applications with a very high level of automation to bring these applications from on-premise to the cloud. And finally, the innovations in terms of automating to the extreme the services that are offered in Oracle Cloud, with services that are even autonomous, that can run without human intervention, tune themselves, secure themselves, patch themselves, which is a way to really reduce drastically the cost of operations. And the other two differentiators are the one that I've talked about, the multi-cloud and hybrid cloud, which we have really designed OCI to really provide the highest degree of interoperability with other clouds and to offer the highest degree of flexibility in terms of hybrid deployment. Now, if you look at the hybrid cloud first, not every organization or not every workload can be deployed to the public cloud. It might be because of issues around regulation, like data sovereignty. It might be issues around security and control, where you want to keep the data, you want to keep the applications inside your own premises. Or it can be technical constraints preventing to go to the public cloud, like latency, so that you because you need to have very high degree of performance for your applications, and having the data being too far away from your data center introduce too much latency. So there are many different reasons why your applications might want to stay within your own premises. And to address that at Oracle, we have invented that concept of cloud at customer. The idea being simple is like, if you cannot adopt the public cloud, well, let's bring the public cloud to you. We've applied this concept first for our database with Exadata, our optimized appliance for running databases, where you can run it as a private cloud on premise, all managed by yourself. You can also adopt Exadata cloud service in the public cloud, so the full power of Exadata in the public cloud. But we'll also introduce the Oracle Exadata Cloud at Customer, where you can subscribe to this service, but instead of accessing the service in the public cloud, we bring the service inside your own firewall, inside your own data center, fully managed by Oracle, where you consume it as any other service with a pay-as-you-go model, exactly the same way as you would in the public cloud, but all running from inside your firewall. And we've expanded that model, not just for the Exadata and for the database, but for all OCI services through the concept of dedicated region cloud at customer. With this concept, we are in a position to build the exact same data center as we build for our public cloud. We are able to build this exact same technology, same architecture inside your own data center, providing you access to all the OCI services inside your own data center, with the same architecture, with the same security, with the same service-sharing agreements, with the same differentiators that I've just talked about, which really provides like the full-fledged hybrid cloud that you might want to take advantage of. A couple of examples here just to illustrate the point. Deutsche Bank, one of the largest banks in the world, highly regulated industry, whole load of data everywhere. They've decided to consolidate all their databases, thousands of databases, on this model of cloud at customer. And they are now integrating all these different and consolidating all these different databases into one environment running inside their own firewall, where they keep full control over the data, running without any latency with the rest of their applications, because this is running inside their own environment. Another example in Middle East is the Oman ICT, where in Oman, there is a strong regulation as it relates to the data sovereignty. So they wanted to go and adopt cloud computing, but we didn't have a data center in Oman. So what they've done, they have adopted this concept of dedicated region cloud at customer, where we've built a full OCI region inside their own data center. And they are able to have the whole value of cloud computing running from their region, running from their data center, where they can provide 120 different government entities with a fully managed cloud region to really accelerate their digital transformation and improve the services to the citizens. So a whole load of different examples that I could go without taking a breath, but I'll stick with those two for now. And moving on to the other aspects, because hybrid cloud is something that we are seeing most customers adopting today. The other big trend is customers adopting a multi-cloud approach, meaning I don't see one customer adopting only one cloud. Most customers are looking at different clouds, adopting the right cloud for the right workload. What we've done with OCI is that we have really designed OCI from an engineering standpoint with full interoperability in mind to allow this multi-cloud scenario to be a reality. We've worked with 50 different connectivity partners to provide all the different type of connectivity to work from OCI and connect to other clouds. We went further, we've done a partnership with Microsoft to interconnect the Oracle Cloud and Microsoft Azure. So private connection between the two clouds so that you can deploy Oracle or Microsoft application that were running on premise. You can deploy this technology on either cloud, just like if it was one data center. We've done also partnership with VMware, so you can take your VMware assets and move them to the Oracle Cloud as is, with a seamless migration, with the same experience as what you can experience on premise. We've also built a whole stack of tools and services to monitor, manage, to provide observability across your different assets. And not only if they are deployed in the Oracle Cloud, but also if they are deployed on other clouds or deployed on premise, having a single pane of glass to really manage your whole environment. Good example of a customer taking advantage of this is Telecom Italia in Brazil, where they decided to go completely exiting their data center, moving completely cloud. And given that they had a lot of investment in Oracle, a lot of investment in Microsoft, they decided to adopt both clouds. They've moved to the Microsoft cloud, everything that was Microsoft heavy, and to the Oracle cloud, all the strong Oracle-based type of workloads, as well as SAP workloads, as well as VMware workloads, all have moved to the Oracle cloud, the two clouds being fully interconnected. That's a true illustration of a multi-cloud approach. So in closing, we've really designed Oracle Cloud Infrastructure for the enterprise, for this enterprise workload, and with this strategy in mind to provide the highest degree of flexibility in your deployment choices so that we can meet you where you are. So we can provide you with the technology that you can deploy the way you want to really future-proof your investments and fully support your transformation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the wonderful keynote presentation, Regis, and we truly appreciate your association with us. Thank you very much for joining us today. Dear participants, Oracle is the lead sponsor of the QCC Summit, and definitely consider visiting their booths and explore what they can do for your companies.